One Piece is the greatest story ever told. Okay, let's say this was a little bit exaggerated, but I would still say it is a masterpiece when it comes to storytelling. And today I will convince you why that is. So what is One Piece? There will be two kinds of people. Probably you already know this anime, and I don't have to tell you anything about it. There will also be some people who have never heard of it before. And just let me try to sum up this story of One Piece as quick as possible and as simple as possible. The manga One Piece was first published in 1997. Imagine you have 20 years for telling a story. And it didn't even come to an end yet. Its mangaka is called Eiichiro Oda, and with this manga he wrote the most successful manga of all times by selling 450 million copies worldwide since March 2019. So the Japanese manga series One Piece is the best-selling manga series of all times. Obviously, storytelling plays a huge part in its success. But now to the story. During the execution of the last pirate king, Goldie Roger, his last words were, "The One Piece exists. It is the greatest treasure somewhere hidden on the Grand Line. You want to get it? Go search for it." After these words, pirates from all over the world made it to the Grand Line and were searching for the greatest treasure of all times. And the great age of the pirates began. So the main protagonist in this story is Monkey D. Luffy. He is a young boy who wants to be a pirate, and even more, he dreams of being the pirate king one day. So he sets off to the sea, and one after another he tries to build up a crew, the Straw Hat Pirates. The first crew member besides Luffy is Zoro, a really skilled swordsman who aims for being the best swordsman in the world one day. The next one in the group is the girl Nami. She is a really greedy thief, and she's always looking for treasures, money and everything that is from worth. And Nami becomes the navigator of this crew, and she dreams of completely mapping the whole world. At this point I really like to go on and also introduce the rest of the Straw Hat crew. For example, my favorite character, Sanji. But since time is limited, we should just jump right into the analysis. The story is about adventures, friendship, tragedy and pursuing a dream. And all the members of the Straw Hat crew share dreams, and they will support each other to achieve their goals. So One Piece is about a hell of a lot of adventures. But now let's get into detail, and let me tell you why I think that One Piece is a masterpiece when it comes to storytelling. If you go through some articles about storytelling, you will pretty early get to the point when they say a good story needs to have good heroes. But what about the villains? What about the antagonists? One Piece is a really good example for choosing the right way to introduce antagonists. An antagonist has to be really powerful, but you will find this in any story. The antagonist, the villain, also has to be interesting. The villains have their own story. Eiichiro Oda, the mangaka, is a great storyteller, and he's also a great illustrator. He uses the instrument of exaggerated body size to create a David versus Goliath situation. Nearly all the villains appear way bigger than the main protagonists. This instrument of highly exaggerated body size makes conflict situations like fights way more exciting than they are. The second point I called emotions. But emotions is a really general term, so it is more specific. In storytelling, you create empathy. You are bound to the characters since you experience them in their toughest times and saddest moments. You are present when they feel hurt, when characters go through hell or torture, and we see them crying. Eiichiro Oda is a genius when it comes to the bond between his characters and the audience. Biochemically speaking, we talk about the neuropeptide oxytocin. Oxytocin is released and translated into the feeling of empathy. This is what makes us feel bound to the characters. There is one instrument which Oda uses a lot, and it is directly linked to empathy. The special thing about One Piece is it is not only one story. One Piece tells nearly endless stories. But how can you tell so many different stories? You can do that by creating a world with a nearly infinite amount of characters. Oda is a professional when it comes to using flashbacks. Flashbacks come into play when a character needs to be described more and you want to show something out of their past. All the flashbacks Oda uses are highly professional chosen short stories which create a really sad atmosphere and which promote getting bound to the character. The short stories and flashbacks seem to teach life lessons. The author provides several ways to cope with difficult situations in life. Oda gives every single member of the Straw Hat crew one flashback at least. That gives the reader or the viewer the opportunity and possibility to look deep into the mind of the main characters. Now we get to a point where One Piece differs quite a lot with most other stories. Usually the main protagonists, the heroes of the story, are on the good side and they fight against evil. But in One Piece, the opposite is true. We sympathize with pirates, a bunch of criminals. The Marine, the organization that protects humans from the pirates, are more or less introduced as the problem in the eyes of the Straw Hat crew. But even though I picked the terms good and evil, it cannot be separated and categorized that easily. In Oda's fantasy world, everyone has his or her motives and sense of justice. By providing the audience a situation where the Marine is facing the pirates, we also have the face-off between authority and freedom. And freedom is definitely one of the main motives that comes with the show One Piece. It is the engine driving most pirates, including the Straw Hats. And just by following our favorite pirate crew with their adventures on screen, it can further motivate us as well to travel, explore more from this beautiful planet, and just be free. Talking about motives or premises, we can't go around One Piece without mentioning the most important one: dreams. Every single one of the Straw Hats has their own dreams that they pursue. It is a common approach giving the main protagonist a dream, but it is more unusual to link an individual dream to a whole pirate crew. And even side characters got their dreams. The more characters you introduce with various profiles, the higher is the likelihood that we can identify with one of them. The questions unanswered are numerous in One Piece. After 937 chapters, 20 years have passed, and we still don't know what is the power of red-haired Shanks, what is the world government hiding, and what is their intention. And of course, the greatest question of all. What is the famous treasure Goldie Roger was talking about? What is the One Piece? Thank you.